What's up, Internet? My name's Ori. It is Monday, September 8th, day number 63 inside the Big Brother house. Veto ceremony is today. How will it affect the noms? Plus, we break down this week's allegiance chart and lay out how the end game really looks to play out. Let's talk about that, plus all the intel drama and more from yesterday's live feeds. But first, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button if you like this video. Hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. To give you guys a little recap, though, to catch you guys up, after Mickey was evicted 6-1, leading to the start of the jury, feeds were down for a very long time because the mastermind was starting his month of mayhem. The mysterious White Locust Resort was open, but one house guest did not check out. We had Tyler from BB20, who is the hotel manager. We'll see all of this take place on Tuesday's episode. Wasn't last night. We were supposed to have an episode on Sunday, but that was pushed to Tuesday. And it was Rachel who was eliminated from the game after a chain of safety / danger kind of competition where one person chose the next to go. If they failed, they were eliminated. It was a hamster wheel with a maze. Ava to Vince to Lauren, which then at some point led to Rachel being eliminated. Ava actually talked a little bit more about that today, yesterday, about how Rachel was like grabbing her arm and telling her like, you can't let Lauren go first. And Ava didn't like how that Rachel was so pushy with that. And she was like, well, all right, then I ended up picking Vince, and I figured if Vince picks Lauren, that would be good, right? Because if I ended up picking Rachel first, Lauren would end up getting the shit end of the stick. So she's like, I don't want to do that. So that's how it ended up being the situation where Ava ended up picking Vince instead of Rachel, and then Rachel ended up being eliminated. It also was the HOH competition, which Lauren then ended up winning, and she nominated Ashley, Morgan, and Will. And yes, there are 3 nominees, as Blockbuster is still in play. Also, Ava might be immune this week. I'm not 100% sure on that, but it's possible that as she was the one to start the change, she is safe this week. But she didn't seem like she was going to be nominated, even if Lauren had the opportunity to. Her and Lauren are very close allies. But it also seems like it's something that potentially will continue, as a lot of the house guests seem worried about it, especially as they were talking about you could be eligible to win HOH back-to-back weeks, as Keanu was apparently eligible to win HOH during this competition, even though he was coming off of his HOH win. Now, that then also takes us to the veto competition, which was BB Comics. Morgan won the BB Comics, and Lauren was looking to nominate Keanu as the potential replacement nominee. We also got a little bit more info on some of the BB Comics that we can go over. Adrian was the slaying mantis with the bread reward pictures. They were looking for, the bread that were out there. He was slaying mantises and trying to find the bread. We had Amy, who was the mommy tearist, which I'm guessing was like a crying mommy. Ashley's was involving the shower power. Ava's was the Ava-delic, as in like psychedelic, and there was like a tagline that came along with it, something along the lines of like, you'll never escape her trip. Then we had Jimmy was the Cobra Couture. So I guess some kind of fashionable snake. We talked about Catherine. She was the ringer. It was all about like the piercings that she had and stuff like that. Keanu's was the butler. He put the ass in assassin. And then Kenny involved in some way, shape, or form. I don't know why Kenny from it was last season, right? Was it 26? Kenny was on 26, right? As sweet Kenny K. He was involved for some reason in that comic. Kelly with the peanut butter and Kelly, and then she was like some kind of tornado that was ripping through the barn with the sheep. Lauren was the Bayou Baddie. Like I said, they were describing it as being very hot. We also had Mickey, which was Hot Lanta, and she was like going scorched earth. And again, Morgan was saying that she was scorching her game. Meanwhile, Morgan was again like the morgue, as in like, where dead bodies go. So she was the Morgan. Rachel Iconica, and she kind of looked like she was Scarlet Witch. Riley was Riley the Kid, and he was on a horse. So it was like, what is it, Billy the Kid? Yeah, I don't know. Seems kind of lame. Vince was the hard-boiled detective, so that makes sense that he went with that. But like I said, he wasn't happy with how his looked. He said he looked old and withered. He was like, I don't know. It looked like that guy had seen some shit. Will was the military man, as in like, military. And then he was taking orders from his wife, his good old chocolate drop. And Zach was the base brawler, right? As in like, the Savannah Bananas, like we were talking about. So there was all kind of bananas. He was a baseball thing. And then Zay was a cheerleader. So that was all of our BB comics. That takes us to more of what was going on yesterday as far as game talk. And listen, I'll be honest, there's stuff going on, but there wasn't that much really new developments. There's some shifting in where some of the kind of voting blocks might be, and we're going over that in our allegiance chart here. But there was some stuff to go over. In fact, Ava even kind of wondered to Kelly, like, is there even a point to game talk anymore? Like at this point, I feel like everybody's kind of done their talking, right? Like, do we need to do anything? And Kelly said, yeah, no, I agree. Everybody's kind of already done their talking already earlier on, except one person. And she was kind of talking about Ashley. And she said that Ashley actually only ever talked to game talk with Rachel. But then they start talking about, what they should be doing. And eventually they had, the idea that it really probably should be Keanu, but there was even more talks about this later as Lauren went and had a chat with Keanu. She's like, listen, like, I'm, a little bit considering that Vince, should go up on the block as the renom. And Keanu says, like, a little bit, like you're a little bit considering Vince. So that means you're nominating me 100%. Got it. Cool. Cool. And he started questioning, like, all right, well, like, does this mean like you actually want me to win the blockbuster, or are you like trying to take a shot at me? Like, you want me out this week? Like he was really also questioning, like, why are you willing to sacrifice me as an ally as opposed to Vince, right? Where Vince, he would have more votes and more likely a chance to stay this week than I would if I ended up not winning the blockbuster. And it's one of those things where he's like, I just, it is what it is. And he was obviously not happy with it. He was saying this really hurts my feelings. Lauren ended up crying after all of this as well. Like, she was really upset to be hurting his feelings. And Keanu later ended up talking to other people and just saying, like, he's, just mad at Lauren for nominating when he could have taken her out last week, right? And like, one of the things was like he even said to himself, he's like, Rachel literally told me this was gonna happen, right? Like, she literally told me, like, are you sure Lauren wouldn't put you up? And he's like, no, why would she put me up? It doesn't make any sense for her. So he's like, she told me this was gonna happen, and I told her it wouldn't, and I should have listened to her. We also had Kelly, who went and talked to Lauren again, kind of just talking about the whole situation about Keanu going up on the block versus Vince going up on the block. And Kelly told her, like, yeah, like, everybody kind of feels bad for him, because like even Ashley kind of feels bad for him, because every single person that he has been aligned with and every single person he's gone to bat for, they keep turning on him. They keep hurting him in some way. And she said, that even includes me. Like, Kelly's like, I'm also kind of in that category as well. And Lauren ended up telling Kelly, she's like, yeah, I am pretty much leaning towards him. It's probably going to be him that goes up on the block. But Kelly does push back just a little bit. She just does kind of say, like, hey, Vince could go up too, right? Like, if you put Vince up, I'll even keep him, right? Like, if you put Vince up and we want Vince to stay, I'll keep him for you, right? Like, he doesn't have to go. And he would definitely have Keanu and Morgan's vote too, right? So like, that is a possibility if you wanted to do it. And keep in mind, like, Vince kind of owes us, right? Like, he owes me, he owes you in this game. But you know what? Will he ever pay us back? Right? Will he ever pay me back? I don't know, because he's always going to protect Morgan. And she was really trying to, get this a little bit going here, right? Like, we do know that she's already kind of pushed Keanu as well. But it does seem like, hey, there's a little bit of a chance that maybe she could push back on this too. And she said, but either way, if it's Vince or Keanu, it's a huge move. And she kind of just says like she could kind of feel that there's that not as much of a feeling from Lauren that this is the direction she wants to go in. She's like, yeah, just do Keanu, right? Like it's fine. We also ended up having Morgan talking to Ashley, saying that, you know what, if Vince would end up winning HOH and he doesn't nominate Lauren, she's gonna feel some type of way about this. And Ashley ended up warning her. She's like, yeah, Vince is really good with everybody at this point, and I see it really almost impossible for him not to make Final Four or Final Three with everybody just being good with him. Who's going to vote him out over you, Morgan? Right? Especially if I leave, Morgan, you are done for, right? Like everybody's going to put you up on the block, except for Vince and Will, who's not going to put you up on the block, Morgan. So Ashley really trying to work on her to make sure she try and has her vote to stay, maybe even over Will, as a potential like ally to have. But just in general, Ashley pushing like, yeah, like we're in trouble here, right? If one of us doesn't stay, if it's not me and Will who stays, we're in trouble. We also did end up getting Morgan, Will, and Vince kind of meeting up, kind of chatting about, what their plans, especially if Ashley were to leave, that they need to, stick together, kind of stay, they can get to the final three, and that they, need to not be afraid to even meet up, and they just need to find that path moving forward. And they do think there is that path if they could all just kind of stick together and agree. As I'm recording this too, people are still up late at night. Of course, Vince and Morgan are still up. Ashley and Morgan were actually having a chat. And it's something interesting. And I actually don't know 100% how much detail Rachel actually ended up telling Ashley about this after the heavy hitters was all blown up. But we had Morgan and Ashley actually having a conversation, and Morgan really went into detail about everything with the heavy hitters of how it formed, how Riley was in it originally, and they kicked him out for Mickey to come on in, and how Jimmy, like pretty much told her, like, yeah, there's this thing called the heavy hitters. Why don't you come and join? So I don't know how much detail Rachel actually went into it. About all that stuff. And honestly, it doesn't really even matter at this point. Most of the heavy hitters are all gone except for Morgan and Vince. And anybody left? I think everybody's gone from the heavy hitters, right? Jimmy, Mickey, Rachel, Zach, Riley, everybody else is gone except for Morgan and Vince. So it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know how much detail actually knew about this beforehand, but does it matter at this point? Probably not. But it's just some of those interesting conversations you start getting at towards the end of the season here, where there's a lot of this like game info that like doesn't matter anymore, but it starts to get kind of leaked out to people who didn't know about it. And there's lots of rehashes and telling about, different stories and things like that. The house guests also are all very upset with production still. They are not liking how things are going. They don't like the feel of how this season is. They keep talking about it being a competition show. And it's kind of interesting because normally you get these kind of things kind of cut from the feeds, but it feels like productions just let it ride. Maybe they're like, yeah, go on and crap all over us. We don't care right now. So it's kind of interesting to see how that all plays out. But I do want to take here a look at our allegiance chart for the week. I've made a lot of changes, completely new formation of this. So let's take a look here at our pyramid of power, as I'm kind of calling it. This is how I kind of see the house set up at the moment. You've got the two sides, right? There's not really even as many sides. I almost wish I could do like a weird little triangle type situation. But the way I kind of see it at the moment is you've got Ava pretty much at the top of this house. She has connections with both like sides, as it will. She's really close to Will. She's really close to Lauren. Those are her two closest allies. But she also has like, little side allies with that, right? She's got like a little bit of a trio with Ava, Will, and Ashley, but there's also the trio with Ava, Lauren, and Kelly. Ava, Lauren, and Kelly is a new kind of power trio that is kind of formed in this game, where that is almost a little bit of a side of the house, right? Where if Will and Ashley do end up leaving, Ava now has this new trio she can kind of go and bond with, as Kelly and Lauren have also both agreed to eventually get rid of Vince and Keanu. Now you have Vince, who's got connections with Will. He's got connections with Lauren. He doesn't have as much with Ava, which is why like he ends up kind of being on the bottom there. of this one, and he's on almost the same line as Kelly and Ashley at this point. As I see Vince as somebody who would end up on the block a lot, but he does have Morgan and Keanu, who I think both would end up getting voted out before Vince, and that's why they're at the bottom of this whole pyramid. They're on that very lowest level, just because they would be the ones that are in the most danger. If they are on the block on eviction night, I would see those two being voted out first before anybody else. Then I would say Vince, Kelly, Ashley all would be in that same level of danger if they're on the block on eviction night. And then you had to have Lauren. I think I even have it there. It's a little hard to see probably, but Lauren is just a hair, just a little bit below Will on that danger scale, and then Will and then Ava up at the top as far as who I think has the most like social credit, who would be able to stay alive in a vote, but also maybe even have a little bit of a sway on the nominations, right? Whereas Ava would have people that would listen to her on the one side. Ava would have people that would listen to her on the other side. The only people that probably wouldn't listen to Ava are those people kind of in that little bit of a core down on the bottom there, Morgan, Vince, and Keanu. But those are the ones also in the most danger from everybody else as well. So it's kind of an interesting little setup that we have here. Ashley, I think, would push back on some of the things that Ava would have to say as well, but I don't think Ashley would be gunning for Ava and putting Ava up on the block either, just because she knows there's bigger fish to fry. There's more important things that you would have to break up. But they are worried about that little bit of a trio. Like, it's not that the Ava, Lauren, Kelly thing is invisible. People are kind of aware that like that's a little bit of a group that's forming up, so they got to be careful. They're more concerned with Lauren as potentially somebody to look out for, because I feel like Kelly they could still kind of end up beating in like a vote and stuff like that, beating in other ways. But Lauren would be the bigger one that they would want to get out, especially with Kelly before they would go and try and get rid of Ava for any reason. But they do want to try and break that up if they would have the possibility. So it's kind of an interesting little spot we're in. There's lots of little voting blocks that can form off if different people end up staying for whatever reason. And with the blockbuster competition, even though Morgan and Keanu and Vince are in those lower spots, even Kelly, they are all very proven competition winners, right? Lauren is a proven competition winner. Ashley has a veto under her belt. Ava has an HOH that she won, kind of gifted to her. Will, though, Will really doesn't have much to his name. He really is going to need to step it up. He's got a bum knee right now at this point. So we'll see how this all plays out. But with the blockbuster in play, it really does change how this end game has to play out, because not only do you have to put 3 people up on the block, your nominees then have 2 ways to save themselves. Plus, with the potential that this new elimination twist is still around with the White Locust Hotel, if that is all still involved, how does that change the game? Could an HOH then win HOH back-to-back weeks now? And then not only do you have one of your targets eliminated from the previous week, you get one eliminated in the elimination comp, then your HOH again, and then they have to go through the blockbuster and the veto again. Like, this is a little crazy. We're starting to get a little bit in the weeds here with all these competitions. But let's see how it plays out. I think you guys know I try and be a little bit of an optimist for the show. It's when it does eventually show the results that I like to then judge it the most. I don't think this is a situation where it's completely going to have me stop watching Big Brother at the moment, because I think there still is a lot of fun that can be had here. It's just it's a lot to get used to, I'll say that. Expect the unexpected is always the saying, so we'll see how this all plays out. But what do you guys think in those comments down below? Let me know what you guys are thinking about how things should go for the renom ceremony. Should Lauren put up Keanu? Should Lauren put up Vince? Let me know what you guys are thinking in those comments down below. Also, I have a potential new idea. With the way things are kind of going right now, there is a lot less kind of game talk really going on. One of the things I was potentially thinking about doing is maybe after this upcoming eviction in the next week coming up, because I think it's going to slow down even more, especially if we are correct, and it being maybe even a double or even potentially even a triple with this upcoming eviction. that potentially I might start doing these updates live like we do on Fridays, and we'll do them pretty much every day live. Sometime, I would imagine either 7:30, 8 o'clock. We'll kind of nail down a time that we do for it. But let me know what you guys are thinking, especially the people who make it this far into the video. You were the ones who are the real OGs, the real Oreos, the ones who stick around and support the most. So I want to hear what you guys think about this potential idea, especially with the season kind of starting to slow down a little bit. I think it would be kind of fun to start doing these more a little bit live. So the potential little ideas, let me know what you guys are thinking. But if you guys are new here, hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit that like button, hit that notification bell. You'll never miss a video. You'll never miss a stream. Check out the links to all my socials in the pinned comment description down below. You can check out things like Twitter and Discord. The Discord's been so much fun. We've got people talking about Big Brother, Survivor Australia versus the World, which just had the grand finale just yesterday. Amazing season of Survivor. We've got always people talking about what they're cooking for dinner. They're posting pictures of their pets. So it's a great fun community that we have built over up on the Discord. So make sure you're checking that out as well. Check out things like the Ori Fund, help support Oris everywhere. I can't thank you guys enough for all the love and support that you guys show me here on this channel. Some of our most recent stuff with the Friday morning update, and then the update following that were our two biggest viewed videos that we've ever had on this channel. So again, thank you guys for all that love. Also, it's getting to be that point. We have our first hoodie update of the season. You can really tell we are getting to that end game now. But I am excited to see who we end up getting to be the winner of Big Brother 27. So thank you guys once again, and I will see you next time.
Look at that. Oh, that is so... Look. That is so satisfying. Not even touching my wrist. Look at that. I did this for probably 4 hours a night.
Oh, boy.
Wow.